I'm Heidi. I have been the coordinator of Help at Hope from Hope Church in Merthyr during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, thanks so much for taking part in this, Heidi. I know we've spoken before, but just to kick off, I wondered if you could give a bit of an overview of what Hope Church has been doing in the pandemic and how it came about.
So Help at Hope exists because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, we decided as a church that we wanted to do something for and with the local community. So we set up Help at Hope. We have about 40-ish volunteers, and through the medium of social media and partner agencies within housing associations, local authority, VAMT, etc., we've had about 110 referrals. We're currently supporting about 55 people or families throughout the county borough of Merthyr. We support with shopping, prescriptions, dog walking, telephone chats. We've done some other things as well. So people needed some grass cut. People who are shielding and not able to access their gardens, we've been able to cut some grass as well. And we also have had funding, which has enabled us to provide essential boxes. So people who are in food poverty because of the pandemic, whether they've been furloughed or money's just a little tight, we're able to provide essential boxes. We've been able to tailor those. So if people are gluten intolerant or vegetarian, vegan, we fed cats and dogs and rabbits and parrots. So pretty much whatever the need is, if we can help and we can meet it, we will.
What I found really interesting was when we spoke before, you said when you set it up, you didn't know whether it was going to be something or nothing. You didn't really know what the response was going to be. But from the sounds of the referrals that you've had and the people that you're helping, the need was definitely there.
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, we didn't have any idea what the need would be, whether we would have one or two people or whether we would be completely overwhelmed. So it's been really good to see that we've been able to support the most vulnerable in the community at this time. And yet there's definitely a need. You know, there's about 4 or 5 agencies doing similar things in Merthyr, and we were grateful that we were able to be part of that response. So we have supported people as a one-off, people who maybe just needed one prescription or one shop. People who were struggling to get delivery slots in the beginning, so we would support them until they could get their delivery slots. And there's been people we've supported throughout the pandemic who have had no other access to food and prescriptions, or people who are lonely, who are isolated, and we've been able to do weekly, fortnightly, however often, telephone chats to people too.
Yeah. Something I found really interesting was your system of foster volunteers. Now, I was wondering if you could explain this foster volunteer system for us.
Yeah, so everybody we've worked with, we've linked them with a particular volunteer. What we wanted was to have some consistency, so people weren't having a different face every week. So we'd link people up with one volunteer, sometimes 2 volunteers, depending on what their need was. But we found that we had a couple of volunteers that got sick during the pandemic. So we would link them up with a foster volunteer. So another person who would do the shopping or the prescription, the telephone chat or the dog walk, until their original volunteer was better and able to take back over. And that gave us the opportunity to widen that person's circle, but also still provide consistency so that they weren't having a different face every time. And that's worked really well. We've been very blessed that we've only had about 3 or 4 people out of 40 odd volunteers getting sick. So that's been a real blessing as well, enabled us to provide consistency. And the fostering out of people has worked really well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And you joined Fair Share as well, didn't you? And is that something you're going to stick with? And if you could explain what Fair Share is as well.
Okay, so Fair Share for us is where it's generally 2 supermarkets in the local area where they have their produce at the end of the day, which isn't able to be sold, but is still good to eat. So we have a couple of slots with 2 supermarkets. We were part of Fair Share prior to the pandemic, but we've been able to have more slots because other people have not wanted their particular Fair Share for their own reasons. So we get produce twice or 3 times a week, and that means we're able to add that in to the basics essential boxes that go out twice a week. The blessing of that is that it's usually fresh food. So the basics boxes tend to be store cupboard staples, but this is fresh food. So we're able to provide fruit and veg and other fresh produce, bakery produce, to go with the basic boxes. That's been really, really well received as well. And yes, we plan to carry on with Fair Share. It may look a little different because, you know, groups are going to be coming back online and wanting their slots back, which is perfectly fine. But yeah, we do plan to carry on with Fair Share.
And how does the future look for the work you've been doing for your initiative? How do you see it going forward now? Coming out of lockdown easing, but we know there's still a lot of need in the community and that those needs aren't going to go away.
No, the needs certainly not going to go away. The needs may look a bit different. We don't want to create a dependence for people. So people who were independently doing their shopping and their prescriptions pre-pandemic, we want them to be able to go back to doing that. But we also
that's a really important part of day-to-day kind of routine.
It really is. Yeah,
social contact.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. But people need to feel safe to do that. So if people want to taper off their service with us, they want to have a little try to see what it's like to go out and buy a loaf of bread and come back, and we do the main bit of shopping for them, that's perfectly fine. You know, we're going to be here for as long as people need us and want us. But definitely the needs are going to continue, I think. I mean, we are likely to see a different demographic of people needing support, potentially those that have been furloughed, that may be made redundant. So I think our food boxes are going to be quite important there. But also, I think that there are going to be ongoing needs for people who are lonely and isolated. Yeah. It's very clear that people were lonely and isolated prior to the pandemic, and that's not going to change post-pandemic.
No.
So our service is definitely going to continue. The church is the church. We are very clear that as long as there's a need, we will be around. So we are looking to partner with 1 or 2 agencies at least, in terms of not replicating what other people do, but working alongside. So whether that is befriending, food parcels, whatever it is, and however the need changes, all being well, we're going to be able to adapt to the service. And what's been really good is, for lots of people, they don't see it as a service anymore. It's an extension of their community. So they've got to know people really well, you know, with the telephone chats and whatever, and the delivery of food. And there's real friendships being formed.
I think that's so important.
And that's really important.
Yeah, and because of the way we look at this whole response, it's not just about a service being delivered. Like you say, it's actually about communities looking after communities, and communities responding to other people, their neighbours, their friends, people they don't know, strangers. So it's not just a transactional relationship at all, is it?
No, it's not. And where possible, we've tried to ensure that the volunteer lives in the area of the person. So it is an extension of community. And it's all about the person's well-being, whether that's, you know, emotional, physical. It has been a real community response. And I think it surprised us all how quickly it's grown, how we've had the most amazing funding from a variety of places. Because at the beginning of this, we didn't really know how we were going to fund it. As a church, we made a commitment that we would fund it, and we've just had resources and money and all sorts of things coming in, you know, a laptop, a mobile phone, which has helped people to be able to refer themselves to us, so they don't need a professional referral. If they've seen the adverts out on Facebook and various other platforms, they can give us a ring, they can email us. And it empowers them as well to do it, that they don't have to go through a professional for a referral. It is as simple as picking up the phone and saying, can you help me?
Yeah. Heidi, thank you so much. That's given a lovely snapshot into what you've been doing and to your perspective on the ground working with people. We really appreciate it, and I really wish you the best of luck as well with taking it forward.
Thank you very much.